let's go to the British royal family, who are a classic expression of this elite. Elton John defends Harry and Meghan's use of private jets. There are a few things that turn my stomach more than celebrities slobbering over royalty. And, you know, I've always kind of shaken my head when you see these rockers who, when they started, were like seen as against the system. You know, the Rolling Stones, Mick Jagger, Rod Stewart, and they end up doffing their cap to royalty and taking honours from the royal honours system. Sir Mick Jagger. Can anybody who grew up in the 60s, when Mick Jagger was painted as the anti-system rocker and the Rolling Stones, oh, hide your children, the Rolling Stones are coming. And they end up being pillars of the system. Sir Mick Jagger. And so we now have Sir Elton John defending the undefendable, that Meghan Markle and Prince Harry, the Duke and Duchess of Sussex, you'll know, can lecture the world about climate change and carbon footprints while using private jets 4 times actually, in 11 days, including flying to Elton John's home for a holiday. And of course, people kicked off about it. Put your actions where your mouth is, basically, was the response. So Elton John came out and said, no, or paid for their carbon footprint. Sorry, Elton, you did what? And it turns out that he gave some money to an organisation, one of these organisations that's been set up to make money out of the climate change hoax caused by human activity hoax. And so they set up these organisations and they say, if you give us money when you go on a plane, we'll plant some trees or something. Now, a lot of these have been things have been exposed to have been a scam. But here's the idea that those of us with money, we can salve our conscience, you see, when we're lecturing everyone else about their carbon footprint, and we can, I'll give some money to this company, you know, write a check, will you? To salve our conscience. So we can fly around in private jets while still lecturing everyone else about the need to reduce our carbon footprint. And of course, the great unwashed, they don't have the money to give to these companies to salve their conscience. So you can't fly on private jets. In fact, you shouldn't fly on any jet at all. You know those cheap packet holidays when you get 2 weeks from the drudge of life to go and sit in the sun? No, you're destroying the world. But we, who go on holiday all the time in our private jets, we are saving the world because we're giving some money to these organizations, most of which are scams. Even environmental organizations have come out against these so-called carbon offset companies. Give me some money and I'll plant a tree. Or at least I'll tell you I will. Oh, God. God save us from celebrities. What is it that makes people think that because they're famous, that they can lecture the world without doing a smear of research into what they're talking about. You listen to these celebrities lecturing people and you see what comes out of their mouth. It's the system's version of everything. How long do you think an actor or actress speaking out against Israel's treatment of the Palestinians would last in Hollywood? Try 5 minutes, and that would just be the time to call a taxi. God, yeah. I've known celebrities, you know, who said to me, "Oh yeah, I like your work. I like what you're doing." And then basically, but don't tell anybody I've said that. All right. How much you getting for your latest film? Oh, a few million. Yeah. That's good then. Don't want to put that at jeopardy, do you? By standing up for the truth. No. Oh, and on the royal family, of course, Prince Andrew is the personification of, or the target that's being focused upon to keep this Epstein thing going, so it doesn't fade as it's beginning to into the background. He's come out this week, Andrew, and said that he didn't know what Epstein was doing. Well, the man's a liar, of course he is. And you can see it, you see, because what happens is they come out with a statement with their PR people, which is a holding statement, and they hope that first statement will deal with it. So they say, I knew nothing about it. I condemn what he did, and I feel so sorry for the people who were abused and all that stuff. And then, of course, the public, because they've seen through this so clearly, they say, we don't believe you. And then there's a second statement comes out, which takes a step back, and he's come out, he said, oh, I made mistakes, but I didn't know what he was doing. And then you go, well, hold on a minute, Prince Andrew, who's always seems to be going on holiday somewhere at public expense. You were caught on camera at the front door from the inside of Epstein's mansion in New York, just as a young lady left, after Epstein was charged and convicted with paedophilia and given this extraordinary plea deal when a life sentence became next to nothing. How do you mean you didn't know? Do you not read the papers? Did he not tell you that he'd been convicted of paedophilia? It's nonsense. And it just shows you how the system is rigged, that Andrew is not called to a police station and told to answer questions about his involvement with Epstein and his involvement with sexual activity with minors. No, please not go near him. The man's as guilty as hell, quite blatantly. You have that picture of him with his hand on the bare waist of a minor, called at the time Virginia Roberts, in the house of Ghislaine Maxwell, the daughter of a Mossad agent in London. And as the lawyers of Virginia Roberts has said, there is no other explanation for why Prince Andrew has his hand on the bare waist of a minor in the home of a madam and procurer of children for a paedophile, Jeffrey Epstein, in the absence of the child's parents or any other guardian. But the police, even though that happened in London, are not saying, Prince Andrew, would you attend this police station, please, because we wish to question you on this. Because it's all rigged, but the public are not buying it. They know he's guilty as hell. And it's not going to go away. And he's going to have to face it eventually. Anyway, here's another Epstein story. Don't laugh. Oh, go on then. Surveillance video outside Epstein's cell deemed unusable. Oh, way. No. How can that be? I've never heard that before. I've never heard that all the surveillance cameras on the route, 17 of them, from the Ritz Hotel to the Pont d'Alma tunnel where Diana died, were not working on that night. I never heard that, did you? I don't recall. How about all the surveillance cameras in the tube station where a group of British police held down a Brazilian electrician and shot him in the head 7 times at close range? Oh, look, it's not working. Oh, and now Epstein is not usable. It appears, the story says, that Jeffrey Epstein had really good timing when he, according to New York Chief Medical Examiner Barbara Sampson, decided to hang himself in his Manhattan jail cell on the morning of August the 10th, crushing bones in his neck that can fracture during hangings but are typically broken during homicide by strangulation. Not only was his cellmate moved out the day before he died, overworked prison guards reportedly fell asleep, missing their assigned 30-minute checks. There's a lot more to know about that. On the highest profile inmate in the Metropolitan Correctional Center, Epstein had recently been taken off suicide watch stemming from mysterious injuries he received weeks earlier. The convicted paedophile said he'd been attacked. And now it's reported that at least one of the cameras in the hallway outside Epstein's cell had footage that is unusable, despite other clearer footage which was captured in the area. In short, it looks like we may never know why sources shouting and shrieking from Epstein's cell the morning he died. Washington Post reported it was not immediately clear why some video footage outside Epstein's cell is too flawed for investigators to use, or what is visible in the usable footage. The incident is being investigated by the FBI. Well, that means not investigated. I mean, the Federal Bureau of Investigation, if it was really interested in the truth and justice, should be investigating itself. Be a lifelong work that would be. And the Justice Department's Inspector General's office, which are attempting to determine what happened and how to assess whether any policies were violated or crimes committed. The footage is considered critical to those inquiries, and the revelation of an unusable recording is yet another of the apparent failures inside the Metropolitan Correctional Center, the short-staffed Bureau of Prisons facility in downtown Manhattan that held Epstein. It's short-staffed, you know. We're short-staffed, that's why it happened. Oh, right, okay, well, that explains it then. Yeah. I went into a roadside restaurant once, and there was a big queue of people, and it was chaos. And the guy running it came up and he said, he said to everybody, "I'm terribly sorry, we're short-staffed." And I just said to him, "Well, employ some taller people then," which I thought was just a merry quip. Crikey. Lead balloon and went down. Nobody laughed. People don't have a sense of humour, that's true. Well, those people didn't. Some people do.